The average autoimmune patient has to manage 3 different doctor's offices, and it's no wonder that some appointments may just drop off our calendars if we don't see the value. When we have an autoimmune condition, we tend to see our rheumatologist more than any other doctor, and for good reason. Autoimmune conditions are complex and can take time to control. But I believe many are underutilizing their primary care doctor and are unknowingly putting their health at risk. Today we'll break down how a good relationship with your primary care doctor can keep your heart health in check, ensure seamless coordination between all your specialists, and keep you up to date on vaccinations. I'm Dr. Elizabeth Ortiz, and this is Connected Rheumatology. Let's get started. I want to tell you about my patient John, to highlight how important primary care doctors are. When I first met John, he was a 64-year-old man who had just moved to the area to be closer to his grandkids. He was establishing care with me as he had psoriatic arthritis, and he'd had it for 20 years and had psoriasis for even longer. He had been with his previous rheumatologist for the past 10 years and had many ups and downs with his arthritis. He had needed to change treatments multiple times over the years, but now he had finally found a combination of medications and lifestyle changes that largely kept the inflammation at bay, and he was feeling pretty good. When I first met him, I could see that he had some changes to his joints, specifically his hands, from his years of psoriatic arthritis, but agreed with him that he didn't seem to have much evidence of obvious inflammation. As is common when meeting your rheumatologist for the first time, I ordered a bunch of baseline blood tests, which for me included a basic cholesterol panel. Well, I was shocked when his results came back a few days later and revealed that his triglyceride levels was sky high. It was like above 500. Before we get to what I learned when I called John about his results, I just want to highlight how important it is to give your new rheumatologist a full rundown of the medications you've tried when you move to a new doctor. I didn't get into the details, but John did an excellent job of letting me know which medications he had been on and why he wasn't taking them anymore. This saves us so much back and forth later should we find ourselves in the position of having to change up his treatment. If you need any help with this as you're starting with a new doctor, check out the Appointment Home Run Handbook that was built to help you get organized so you can effectively tell your story to your new doc. The link will be in the description box below, and it's free. Okay, so back to John. Well, of course, I called him and found out that he couldn't even remember the last time he talked to a doctor about his cholesterol, and although he could remember the name of his old primary care doctor, he admitted that he couldn't remember the last time he saw them. He then said what I have since learned is a common misconception amongst those who see a rheumatologist. I just didn't think it was necessary since I was seeing my rheumatologist so often and he was drawing blood each time. I just assumed he was checking everything I needed. So I can get into what is appropriate rheumatology care and what isn't, but that's not really the point of today, and I'll be honest, there are a lot of different opinions. I've worked with amazing rheumatologists who will scream at the top of their lungs that certain things shouldn't be the rheumatologist's job, while others, like me, tend to blur the line of what falls under my jurisdiction and what doesn't. But what is not controversial is that heart health needs to be paid attention to when you have an autoimmune disease. Now, why? Well, because it is well established that those with autoimmune conditions such as rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and yes, psoriatic arthritis have a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease. And so we, meaning you and your doctors, need to be doing what we can to control all the known risk factors. And the risk factors for cardiovascular disease are your blood sugar, cholesterol, blood pressure, weight, family history, and when you have an autoimmune disease, your disease control. We have well-established thresholds and guidelines for how often to check these risk factors and what to do when they are off. But first, you need to make sure that they're being checked. Sometimes your rheumatologist may just be checking your level of inflammation and kidney and liver health to monitor for side effects of those medications that they're giving to you. As John did, it can be assumed that your doctor is checking your cholesterol and blood sugar, but we should never assume and must make sure that we ask. Get copies of your blood test results and ask if they can add it to the next order if it hasn't been done in a while. What should we do, however, if a test result returns, as John's did, abnormal? This is where we rely on our primary care providers. The art of cardiovascular health care, blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure management often is out of what your rheumatologist feels comfortable doing, yet is exactly where the primary care doctor shines. It's simply a matter of how often they care for something. I see arthritis day in and day out and have a level of experience and knowledge rooted in the sheer volume I've seen. I can't say the same for super high triglycerides like what John had. When I look back and looked over our initial discussion, I was reminded that John had a mother with early heart disease and a brother who had coronary stents placed in his 50s, furthering his need to see someone who can review his numbers and develop a comprehensive plan. So after our talk, John set up his first appointment with his PCP with our test results in hand, ready to talk about his heart. His new PCP recommended starting a medication to lower his triglycerides, but given his family history, wanted to take a better look at how his heart was functioning, which required adding another specialist, a cardiologist. Okay, so I know, another doctor? I'm much less excited about this plan, Ortiz. Yes, okay, I know. Another doctor is never something anyone wants, but stick with me. The recommendation was for John to have some higher level testing done, which included a stress test and a cardiac calcium score. And when you are getting higher level testing, you need higher level interpretation of that testing. So yes, he needed a cardiologist. But you are absolutely right to think things are getting more complicated, and he is me and now a new cardiologist. And this is another way your primary care provider can be helpful, and that's by helping coordinate and organize all the results and opinions from all your specialists. They can collect your test results, provide explanations, and ensure you have the appropriate follow-up with each doctor. They can also serve as the holding place for all of your records. So if you need a new doctor, instead of having them need to reach out to multiple offices to get your records, they can simply go to your primary care and get up to speed on everything. Utilizing your PCP as your medical home or hub ensures you have a pair of eyes on everything. We all know that our medical system is fractured and doctors don't do a great job of talking to each other. And as much as I'm a fan of you getting copies of all your records, having your primary care doctor and their office serve as your hub can provide you with a sense of confidence that you aren't all on your own. There was one last way it became clear John needed his PCP. He wasn't up to date on his vaccines. He had managed to get his yearly flu vaccine, mainly at the urging of his wife, but we realized he had never had his pneumonia vaccine, something recommended for every autoimmune patient. Remember, having an autoimmune condition by itself puts anyone at higher risk for infections. On top of that, the many medications we use can also increase our infection risk. So we like to proactively prevent the infections we can with vaccines. Yearly flu and COVID vaccines are recommended, as is the pneumonia and shingles vaccine. It can vary widely who and where you, as a rheumatology patient, can get your vaccines. Many rheumatologists will offer them in their office, but oftentimes we need to get them from our primary care providers. This is another area where rheumatologists may not be on top of it as our primary care colleagues. John's story highlights just how critical it is to engage actively with your primary care doctor, even when you're under the close watch of a specialist. It's exactly for all the reasons I talked about in John's case that I'm thrilled to be partnering with Paradigm Family Health here in Dallas. This partnership will allow autoimmune patients to get integrated care by a collaborative medical team, which includes me, a rheumatologist, and a Paradigm primary care provider. This will ensure that none of what happened to John will happen to our patients. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and want to learn more, I'll put a link in the description box. If you're curious to learn more about how autoimmunity can affect your heart, check out my other video on this topic, which is linked in the description box as well. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.